From a midnight escape that ended in tragedy and a reckless luxury ride that turned a birthday trip into a crime scene to a brazen driver who thought raw speed could outrun the law and much more. Here are the craziest moments when high-speed police chases ended in total chaos. On July the 12th, 2023, Interstate 40 in Arkansas became the stage for something far more chaotic than the usual evening traffic. A St. Francis County deputy had already locked onto two gray Teslas pushing way past the limit, and that call rippled quickly through law enforcement radios. As traffic thickened, an Arkansas State Police trooper tried to prepare a spike strip only to realize the sheer speed of what was coming made that plan impossible. The chase was already writing its own rules, and the road ahead was about to prove it.
Go again. All right. Yeah, wait. Successful. Good work, kid.
I got it. Busting that tire.
TBI. He hit 24's car. I rammed him.
The driver behind the wheel was later identified as Williams and his passenger as Taylor. Once the dust settled, officers recovered marijuana and digital scales, making it clear this trip was about more than just reckless driving. Williams racked up charges ranging from possession and reckless driving to aggravated assault and fleeing, while Taylor faced misdemeanor possession and paraphernalia charges. Turns out, their flashy Tesla wasn't even theirs. Williams admitted he borrowed it through a cousin's Turo rental because he wasn't old enough to rent it himself. A high-speed joyride to Dallas for a birthday sounds fun in theory, but this one ended with a criminal record instead of candles. It was April 25th, 2024, when the quiet stretch of State Road 52 lit up with trouble. A white Nissan Altima blasted through the lanes, tearing past at more than twice the posted limit. The trooper watching traffic that day had seen plenty of speeders, but this one was something else entirely. By the time the patrol car pulled out, the race between good judgment and reckless defiance was already on.
He's about 115 outside lane, south of 54. South of 54 outside lane, nearby is 115 or 150 feet. Right, I don't know what he's trying to do. You signal stop with you.
When the driver tried to twist free of the net closing in, another trooper was waiting with a decisive move. In that instant, all the weaving and dodging came face to face with a reality check the suspect could not outrun.
Hey!
driver, later identified as DeMarco Lee Earls Jr., tried one last act of defiance fighting officers even as they pulled him from the car. Threats, kicks, even an attempt to bite it all ended the same way in cuffs. The discovery of cocaine and fentanyl in his car sealed the final chapter. Already on probation for burglary, Earls is now facing a mountain of charges and no bond. Running at 115 miles per hour may have felt bold in the moment, but it only guaranteed his road to prison just got a whole lot shorter. It was just after 4:40 in the afternoon on March 4th, 2024, when Trooper Shira thought he was about to conduct a routine stop. A white Dodge Charger dark windows cruising up Interstate 75. But the second those red and blue lights lit up, the driver made a choice that would turn a quiet stretch of pavement into a full-blown racetrack. In a heartbeat, the chase was on. At 120 miles per hour, the gamble pushed beyond reckless. The driver tried to outwit a trooper riding alongside, and what came next would prove just how unforgiving high-speed risks can be. By the time it was over, Cody and Williams were taken into custody. Troopers found drugs on the passenger and even more tucked inside the Charger, along with a loaded firearm. Cody's charges piled high: aggravated fleeing with damage, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and reckless driving causing property damage. For all the speed he tried to use to get away, in the end, Cody couldn't outrun the law or his own bad decisions. On a cool October day in 2022, the streets of Arkansas carried an unusual tension. A Dodge Challenger with expired tags seemed harmless enough to most, but not to the officers watching closely. With the FBI partnering alongside Arkansas State Police, the suspicion around this car was far more than what a simple tag violation would suggest. The driver had no idea that the weight of two agencies was about to fall squarely on his shoulders. The driver's bad gamble ended with cuffs instead of freedom. Possible charges stacked up quickly: felony fleeing, reckless driving, expired registration, and obstructing law enforcement. With the FBI looking over the case, federal charges weren't off the table either. In the end, that flashy Challenger didn't just lose the chase, it lost its driver to a jail cell.
Just jump the median oncoming traffic. Signal 4, signal 4, signal 4!
It was November 22nd, 2023, when what started as a call about shoplifters at a Kohl's in Yulee, Florida, spiraled into something far more sinister. Deputies expected to deal with stolen merchandise, maybe a quick arrest in the parking lot. But the suspects behind the wheel of a Nissan sedan had other plans that would test both patience and survival instincts. With flashing lights filling the night, one officer soon realized he wasn't just chasing thieves. He was staring down something much more dangerous.
Jump to median on a 3264 India Papa.
Let me see everybody's hands right now!
The fallout was devastating. Sierra Desiree Fawcett, just driving her own route that evening, ended up in a hospital bed with serious injuries. Inside the suspect vehicle, deputies uncovered stolen merchandise worth nearly $2,000 and narcotics tucked away like an afterthought. The four suspects were all arrested their night ending, not in escape, but in flashing lights and hospital gurneys. A stark reminder that running from the law rarely gets you anywhere, but deeper in trouble.
Right there.
Roll over, give me a 1016.
On the night of April 1st, 2024, a routine traffic stop in Crittenden County took a turn no trooper wanted to see. What started as a white Ford Fusion cruising along Interstate 40 quickly became something much darker. The driver, later identified as 28-year-old Courtney Ridgway of Smyrna, Tennessee, made one split-second decision that changed everything. Instead of easing over, she pushed the pedal and set the stage for a pursuit that would spiral far beyond control.
You advise it turns into a gravel road.
Yeah, I believe so. At some point it does. Yeah, if you're on base so low, it's going to turn to gravel pretty quick. Are you 556, like the 265 go north? 897, go ahead towards Bud Lake Road.
I just lost the tail lights and turned to gravel. I'm going down.
29, keep the beat.
Yeah, wreck out.
Right there.
Roll over, give me a 1016.
10-4.
With him.
What happened next became a grim reminder of why these pursuits are so dangerous. Ridgway's life ended in that field marked at 10:42 p.m. by the county coroner, Martin and Cockrell. Her passengers walked away with non-life-threatening injuries, though the memory of that night will follow them forever. Arkansas State Police reminded the public afterward that blue lights are not a suggestion, they're a lifeline. Ignore them and the consequences can be unforgiving. It was the early morning hours of September 14th, 2024, when the quiet streets of Florida were anything but calm. A simple traffic stop quickly spiraled into something far more dangerous, and what started as a routine license plate check soon had troopers bracing for the unknown. One driver seated behind the wheel of a white Nissan Sentra made a decision that would set the night ablaze with flashing lights and reckless speed. What happened next would leave even veteran officers shaking their heads. By the time the run came to a close, the driver was identified as 59-year-old Lisa Joanne Hoffacker. Her speech was slurred, her eyes were bloodshot, and her defiance continued as she refused every test offered. She wound up with a trip to the hospital for medical clearance, followed by charges that stacked up, quickly fleeing to elude driving under the influence with property damage, reckless driving, and driving with a suspended license. For someone who thought she could outrun the law, all she managed to do was outrun her own common sense. On December 3rd, 2022, the Florida night sky was calm, but the roads were about to erupt with flashing blue lights. What should have been a simple stop turned into something else entirely when one driver decided the rules no longer applied. With the press of a pedal, the chase was on, and every second added fuel to a situation spiraling out of control. Troopers knew this wasn't going to be a patient game. It was going to be fast and dangerous.
We are going to be taking 40 westbound, no traffic speed day. Yes, we're going to continue 40 westbound, speed traffic. We're still 40 westbound. Stay behind us. We're coming up on Camp Rock from the speed probably about 110. Light traffic. We got state messaging. Yeah, they're coming over, state's coming over. You're going to take Cranberry. We're going to be third. We're going up on Latin County. Check up the college exit. Speed, paid.
As the minutes ticked by, Bird lined up for the kind of move that separates hesitation from decisiveness. The suspect could swerve, accelerate, or pray, but Bird had already committed.
There's that thing I did. Sit. Stay knocked out. Get us medical. Where you at?
Watch your crossfire.
When the chase slammed to its conclusion, it wasn't the suspect in control anymore. The wall stopped what speed and stubbornness could not. Bird's precision closed the chapter, quickly proving once again why his reputation as a legend in pursuits isn't just a title, it's a fact. For this driver, running ended exactly the way it started, as a bad choice. April 26, 2024 was just another spring day in Arkansas until the radio call came through. A stolen vehicle was refusing to stop, tearing across Crittenden County with Arkansas State Police in hot pursuit. Behind the wheel of a patrol car was Trooper Donnie Cheers, already bracing for what was shaping up to be anything but routine. What began as a stolen car complaint was now shaping into a high-stakes chase across open country roads.
He's on foot.
By the time the dust settled, the stolen vehicle was mangled in a field, and its driver was face down in handcuffs. The charges practically wrote themselves, fleeing reckless driving possession of a stolen vehicle and more. Trooper Donnie Cheers and his fellow officers made sure this one didn't stretch any longer than it had to. It's a lesson that always rings true. The run might feel thrilling, but it never ends the way the driver hopes.
50.
It was the night of February 12th, 2025, when two men suspected of pulling off an armed robbery in Kentucky found themselves crossing into Indiana. They weren't just carrying suspicion on their shoulders, they were behind the wheel of a stolen Ford F-150. Law enforcement already had their eyes peeled, waiting for the slightest glimpse. When the pickup finally rolled into view, the calm of a small-town parking lot shattered in an instant.
50 south. Northbound Highway 3 approaching 750 south, speed 95. Speed 95, approaching 750 south on northbound 3. Northbound approaching 600 south. There's lines up ahead of us. Northbound approaching 600 south. Lights ahead. Stop sticks on 600 south. Stop sticks on 600 south. 50, 1050. Stop sticks on 600 south. Stop sticks on 600 south. 1050, 1050. 1050.
The driver, later identified as 45-year-old Daniel York of Evansville, Indiana, tried to bolt on foot, but his run ended quickly in the hands of Austin police. The passenger, 62-year-old Everett Klein of Wheelersburg, Ohio, never made it that far. He was arrested at the scene. Both men faced a stack of charges from stolen property to reckless driving stacked on top of their existing warrants. Running may have seemed like the bold choice at the time, but all it really did was buy them a longer list of problems. This might feel like the end, but it is just the first chapter in a much bigger lineup of wild pursuits. The next video is already queued up, and you do not want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe for more.